Hello, everyone. This is Ms. Mouth Almighty from A Little Bit of This and That Talk, coming to you live with another story. Story is really strange. This story is about a 44-year-old man who who is a pilot, Mr. Emerson. He actually boarded a plane a couple of days ago, and he was able to sit in the cockpit with the co-pilot and the pilot as one of the perks. So if you're a pilot and you get on another flight and you're on your way somewhere else, you can actually sit in the cockpit with them, and it's called the jump seat. So the way that I saw the picture, you have the pilot seat, you have the co-pilot, and like right in the middle, in the back, like a few inches behind the pilot and the co-pilot in the middle is the third seat, which is where this where another pilot can sit. So this is what happened. So there were 83 passengers on the bus, from what I understand. They allowed Mr. Emerson on the bus, who was 44, married with two children. And they were flying, and they were actually were having a good conversation. They were talking about the weather and everything. And then all of a sudden, midway into the ride, Mr. Emerson reaches out and tries to pull down the lever for the plane's engine to turn it off. Now, that's very, very dangerous. From what I understand, if you are at a high altitude and you try this, you have better chances of recuperating the plane to get it back on track. But if you're at a lower level and this happens, fatalities everywhere, from what I understand. So he tried to do this. So of course, at this point, a fight ensues. So that somebody is trying to stop him at this point. So you have a pilot trying to fly, and you have the other one trying to take on this man. So they struggle for a minute, but they managed to get him down, place handcuffs on him. And minutes before he reached out to try to pull down this lever, he yelled out, "I'm not good." So I can imagine that he was not feeling good. He just yelled out, "I'm not good, and this is not going to be good." So they got him down, placed handcuffs on him, and took him out and took him to the back of the plane. So the pilot called for police and said they were going to make an emergency landing before they got to the destination, of course, and they needed the police to be there as soon as they landed. He explained to them everything that happened. So they land the plane. The police get on the bus. I'm sorry, the police get on the plane, and they take Mr. Emerson into custody. However, before this, at some point when he was sitting in the back of the plane, he tried to open the emergency door, and he tried to pull that handle down for the emergency exit door, and of course that was not successful. Thank God. But they took him off. They took him into custody. So the new details emerged today about what happened, and this is according to Mr. Emerson. This is what he told police. What happened? So Mr. Emerson states that he took some psychedelic mushrooms, and it was his first time taking them. He said 6 months ago he had been depressed, okay? But then further on in the story, it states that he had been depressed for 6 years. So I'm not sure what's going on. And recently, a friend of his died. He hadn't had sleep in 40 hours. Did you hear me right? 40 hours he had no sleep. And he felt like, he said he was having a nervous breakdown. He said he felt like he was dreaming when he was trying to pull for the lever for the engine of the plane. He felt like he was dreaming and he just wanted to wake up. So, and he said he felt tired and dehydrated. So you have this man, this tall man, who felt tired, dehydrated, suffering with depression, and on top of that, you're going to take some drugs. Not a good combination at all, right? So this is a recipe for some type of disaster happening. What kind of disaster? I don't know, but definitely a disaster happening, right? So he admitted to all of this, and he waived his right for an attorney, and he stated to them basically, "Look, I'm willing to accept my punishment because I did wrong. Hey, I almost killed all of these people, and I'm willing and ready to take the consequences for this." This is sad, because when they interviewed a couple of his neighbors, they said he's really a nice guy. His children play with their children. They didn't understand what was going on. They don't even see how he could do something like this. So he was an upstanding guy in the community in which he lived. Pictures showed that he looked like he really enjoyed his job. But what I want to say is that, depression is nothing to be playing with, guys. Any type of mental illness that a person may be suffering from, you got to get help. You just have to get help, and you have to, if it means taking time off from work to take care of you, you have to do that, because you're a pilot, and you have all these people's lives in your hand in the air, and nobody else is there to help. No police officers, because you're not on land, you're in the air. So if you are suffering with some type of mental illness, people, please go get yourself some help. You never know what people are going through. So it seems like to me this man has been suffering in silence from what he has been saying. I'm not quite sure if his wife even knew these last 6 months that he was dealing with this, because some people can hide it so well. And taking drugs is not taking street drugs is not the answer. So please, if you're listening, get yourself some help. If you're not feeling well, if you're not feeling well mentally, and a lot of times we do know when we're not feeling well, it's okay to go and get some help. It really is. Trust me. It's okay to go get some help and to talk to a professional and say, look, I'm not feeling well. Can you help me? Tell them your symptoms. Tell them what you're experiencing. Tell them what you've been going through. And I guarantee you, they'll be able to tell you exactly what's wrong with you. And at that point, you can move forward with therapy, medication if needed. They will give you the tools to be able to be successful in the rest of your life. So please get some help. And thank you so much for listening. Until the next time, this is Miss Mouth Almighty from A Little Bit of This and That Talk. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening.